Hello, I'm Nancy Smith-Maddox with Shine Your Light Radio Ministry on WYTV7 in Charlotte, North Carolina. We also broadcast on iHeartRadio. I'm so excited today to have a beautiful young woman, a pastor and a minister, and a published author, a newly published author. But before we start with the interview with this very special guest, let me just remind you that WYTV7 is a nonprofit. We do accept donations, and our donations are used to promote the broadcasters and all of their broadcasts all over the world. We do have listeners all over the world, and we love for our shows to go international so that we can get more exposure for our guests. So without further ado, let me get started. Again, I'm so excited. Who we have today is Camille Schuler. She has Camille Schuler Ministries, and she is in Charleston, South Carolina, or right near Charleston. So I'm excited to have her today. She's a newly published author, and the name of her book is My Season of Yes. So we're going to be talking a lot about that today. But before we get started on the book, Ms. Camille, just tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit of your testimony, where you came from and where you're going.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, first and foremost, Ms. Nancy, for having me. Truly a blessing. When I published the ebook, I didn't expect all the positive comments, and just the fact that you reached out. I'm just truly blessed and humble to be on your show. I think that's awesome. I'm a native from New Jersey. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Bishop Lloyd Faulkner and co-pastor Paulette Faulkner. They are the reason why I'm here, and they're the reason why I understand that my faith is what's keeping me going. Even when things get tough, they always said, Camille, you know, God plus education equals success. I will never forget it. I love my grandmother. She named me, but she also taught me how to pray. And so my husband and I, yes, we reside right near Charleston, South Carolina. And to be honest with you, I ran for my calling for a very long time. And then God shook me a little bit and told me that you need to get yourself together, because you are the voice that I need you to do what I have called you to do, so that others can understand that salvation is for them. And to be honest with you, I cannot believe what God has done for me, but more importantly, through me to help others, because I'm, out of everything that I have, Ms. Nancy, my title, I'm still a servant. And that's my number one. I tell people I can have so many titles behind my name, but servant is who I am. And my job is to serve. And so I'm
wow.
Yeah, I know.
You give me a lot, so I have a lot more questions just from that. First of all, I'm really, really excited to hear you talk about your grandmother. I think all of us need to understand that whether our grandmother is still with us or whether she's already gone to heaven, that they're still praying for us, constantly watching over us. They're guardian angels to us. Our grandmothers are so, so special. I was just telling Miss Libby that mine is sitting on the River Jordan right now looking down on us. Every show I do, I need her to help me. And my mother is still alive, but she's really not doing very well. She's sick. But she just kind of resigned herself to the fact that she's ready to go be with her mother on the River Jordan, her mother and father. I'm like, that's fine, you know, but I love that. And I also love how you talk about your parents. So I take it that your parents are the one that kind of have led you all these years and gotten you into where you are, and you learned ministering from them, I suppose.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, their help, along with my current pastor, overseer Jeanette Harley, here at Family Worship Center in Yamasee, South Carolina. Kind of the two meshing together and making sure I keep my head on straight. And, you know, young people, we go in different directions after we graduate high school, but overseer Harley.
Have you ever experienced God speaking to you and coming to you?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. It kind of scared me the first time. I was 10 years old, and I told my dad, I think I have healing in my hands. It was kind of weird because I didn't understand it. I just knew my hands got warm. And he said, well, you know, God speaks to us in different ways. And so at that time I was young, so I didn't know what it was at the time. So he said, well, you just have to have a relationship with the Lord. And I was like, Dad, but I go to church all the time and you and Mom tell me to pray. So that's what I do. And he's like, it's a little bit more than that. And so after I grew up and got baptized and I got filled with the Holy Ghost, I realized that the relationship is a conversation like I'm having with you. And all God wants me to do is talk to him. So even though after I graduated high school and came to college, that was a whole faith-based thing, Miss Nancy, like never before. Because I wasn't the student who studied all the time and got good grades. I was the personality. And so applying to University of South Carolina, Beaufort, woo, woo, go Gamecocks. That was faith all in itself, from the SAT scores to the ACT scores, just getting into the university. It took faith to really, I honestly think God moved mountains for me. I think God moved mountains for me during the whole admission process, because I started packing my bags and I'm moving 600 plus miles away. And my father said, where you going? I said, South Carolina. He said, you don't know nobody. I said, I know Pastor Harley. We're good. And he said, but you didn't get the acceptance letter yet. I said, Dad, well, you told me to have faith. So I believed God that I'm going to get into the school. And I only applied to 4, Miss Nancy. And honestly, I got in. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Really, absolutely. You know, I was just telling my grandsons today, they're 11 and 13, and I was telling them today that what they think about is what comes about. And they're like, what are you saying? And they're looking, my son and daughter-in-law are looking at another home. And so they want it so bad because it has a swimming pool. And I'm like, you know what? If you keep, and my oldest, the 13-year-old, he has already been baptized. He's a Christian and he has a lot of faith, but he's like, I just don't know, Nene. I just don't know. You know, maybe we need to not get our hopes up. And I said, no, you get your hopes up. You keep your hopes up. You keep thinking positive thoughts, how much you want that house. You pray to God that it'll open up, the doors will happen, and you would be surprised what will happen. And if you don't get it, then it's not because God let you down. It's because it wasn't meant to be. And I said, but you have to continue to think positive thoughts and think what you want. And usually when you think it, it comes into being. And as I was just telling them that today, and I'm a firm believer in that, and I'm trying to teach them at a very young age, you know, to always keep thinking what you want and what you want to do and where you want to go, because they're constantly talking about college. And I just think you need to just, I honestly believe that if I think it long enough and say it long enough, that it's going to come to be. So that's really awesome. And I love to hear you say your personality, because that's what I am. I have a really great personality, a very positive personality, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about Shine Your Light radio ministry and what it all means. Yes. Shine Your Light, I retired from a very high-powered career about 15 years ago, and I'm like, God, what am I going to do? I miss the people. I miss not being with the people. I miss helping the people. And I mean, Shine Your Light just popped in my mind. And what I decided, what God was telling me is, create a foundation for Shine Your Light, and then use it to let everybody else shine their light. So it's really not about me. It's about the people that I interview, the people that I helping them to shine their light, market for them and things like that, so they can shine their light to the world and let everyone know that there's really good things happening, because there's thousands of people that have good things going on that really they have no way of getting the word out. So that's what Shine Your Light's all about.
I love Shine Your Light. I'm like Shine Your Light.
So I love that. But anyway, well, what is your favorite Bible verse now that we're talking about that?
That's a hard one. I have a lot, but if I choose one, Lord, I would say, oh Lord, there's so many, but I'd say Hebrews 11:1. You know, it's very common, but backstory, Faith was actually supposed to be my original name before Camille, because Faith brought me through. I was a premature baby, 1.5 pounds, 3 holes in my heart. So I'd have to say faith, because Hebrews 1:11-1 talks about faith. And when things aren't so great, faith keeps me going. So I would say Hebrews 11:1.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. I hated to spring that on you, but that's exactly, that's what people want to hear. I want
Yes,
them to
ma'am.
be motivated by everything that you say, and just a mention of a Bible verse and what motivates you about it really will go a long, long way.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, as I was looking at looking at all of your social media and all, I was seeing that you are a mindset motivator. So can you
Yes.
kind of tell us what that's all about?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, that came from God, because he kept telling me that what we do and what we say all starts in our mind. And then I was like, God, okay, but I just can't talk about mindset all the time, even though it's really important. But he says, you know what? You like pushing people, you like motivating people, you like mentoring them. So you know what? You're the mindset motivator. And I said, really? I said, it got a good ring to it, so I guess I'll keep it. But then he kept helping me with my mind, and he kept saying, remember, Camille, you're the mindset motivator. You can't tell people to motivate their minds if you aren't motivated. I said, you know what? So I went on a couple of days fasting and prayer, and I asked God to help me clear my mind and my heart, and let me be honest and pure every broadcast I do, whether it be on social media or on my conference call prayer line, whatever it is. I just want people to see that I'm coming from a pure heart, and that God has given me a special gift to share with the world. So that's where the mindset motivator came from, and I just love it.
Well, I love that too. I think God is really been great to you, and you've been a great servant. And speaking of servants, I want to talk a little bit about that, because that's really what my mantra is people helping people. I
Yes,
worked at a
ma'am.
credit union for 25 years as a CEO, so I literally helped thousands of people realize
Wow.
their financial dreams. And I had it in my blood, but you have to be a servant in order to do that particular career. And when I retired, I'm like, what can I do? So all I know to do is just to serve people and teach them about God and about being saved and how to be a good person. So really,
Yes,
I love that attitude. So tell me a little bit about how you feel like you are a good servant, and you do help people.
yes, ma'am. Great question. I believe that in every aspect of my life, even strangers, sometimes God will have me to speak to them. And I say, God, I don't know what to say to them. And he'd be like, just tell them what I said. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Starbucks getting some coffee, and this person passed me. And God speaks to me when people either pass me or smile at me. So when the person passed me, I said, I felt something, and God said, you just need to tell him everything's going to be okay. I was like, I just came for my coffee. I didn't come to do anything else. And I told the person that, God said it would be okay. And she looked at me like I was kind of like, what? But I said to her, this is not me talking. This is God giving me a message, but using me as the messenger. And she said, okay, thank you. And, we went about our day. And I think that helped me more than her, because I realized that sometimes God will give us messages to help others, but it's really also for us as well. So I realized, not as that instance, but young people. And I talked about a couple of, days ago on my social media that I thought about committing suicide twice. And I attempted it twice, and it was so hard. And God says, you need to talk about how that saved your soul. And I said, God, ain't nobody gonna listen to my story. And he said, yes, they will. And to be honest with you, Miss Nancy, I was surprised of the number of people that was on my broadcast, just wanting to hear the 5 ways that I coped with dealing with it. One as a freshman in college, and then more recently, about 3 years ago. Because some of us, we don't want to deal with the real issues. But I'm just glad that God has given me the humbleness and vulnerability to help others say, you know what, it's going to be okay. And that I've been there, and that we serve a God that's able to restore. He's able to heal. He's able to make you smile again, even though everything may not be the way we want it to be.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that, because really, I mean, that is what it's all about. What we've experienced in our lifetime, if we share that, we don't know who's going to hear that and listen to that, and it could save a life. You and talking about your tendencies and what happened to you is so vitally important, that that's what God wants us to do. Because just speaking here and speaking wherever you speak and talking about that, you don't know who you're going to reach. But you
Yes,
can reach young and old, because I mean, people, people are experiencing bad times, and it just never goes away, you know. So I want to talk a little bit now about my season of Yes, your new book has been released just recently. So it's very exciting. And the name of the book is My Season of Yes. So can we talk a little bit about that? What is the book about, and what motivated you to write the book?
Well, I am a writer at heart. I began to love English in 7th grade because of my English teacher, who actually was just really kind to me when I wasn't feeling well one day, and I just decided to start writing. And you know, when you start a book, Miss Nancy, and then you put it down, and then you say, I'm gonna do it again, and then you put it down. Well, that's kind of how my book process went. And I believe the title came from within, because I kept telling myself no for so many years. And so the subtopic of the book is breaking barriers and springing forth greatness within. And I kept telling myself, because I dealt with a lot of low self-esteem. Like, I didn't like myself. I didn't love myself. I was very hard on myself with a lot of things. And as I started writing, and that's what I love about the book, because I give 10 to 13 affirmations. And these are affirmations I tell myself every day. And what I love about the book, I'm honest, and I let you know that, you know what? I was nervous at one time. I did think I couldn't do it at one time. I did think that nobody was going to support me. And then I heard God say to me, yes, you can. And he said, this is your season of yes. And I'm saying, where in the world is this coming from? Like, what? Not me, God. No, I will never write a book. I don't think anybody's going to support my book. They're not going to even look at the pages. And then he said, just start writing. And I sat at my computer, Miss Nancy, and I started writing. And then I said, God, I would like to publish, but I don't have any money for a publisher. How that's going to work out? He says, if you keep writing, I'll do the rest. I said, okay. So he connected me with an amazing publisher, Lady Julia Royston, which I truly love her. And I thought about the different titles of the book. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek, Ms. Nancy, into a couple of the titles of the book, where it's 13 chapters, about 32 pages long, so can read in a nice, good sitting. But the first chapter is, can I really do this? And I was like, Lord, can I really do this? And I kept typing. And then we are our worst critic when it comes to certain things. And I said, God, after the first chapter, I said, I don't know what else to write about. And then it just kept flooding in and flooding in. I like, of course, all the chapters, but I believe that the one that was one of the toughest was chapter 7, which was turning my storms into my stepping stones. And I was like, Lord, how can a storm be a stepping stone? And I realized, he said, you know what, everything we go through, even though in storms, it's rain, it's hail, it's terrible winds, I am the person who can calm your storm. And that's what I love about God, because even when things are tough and hard and difficult, he always has a way of calming me down, and can calm us all down to make us feel like we're number one. The book is also about motivation, of course, and inspirational. It also allows us to think differently about our journeys, because our journeys are not the same.
Wow, that sounds like an awesome book. I think because it comes from the heart,
Yes,
and because it's so God-driven, that it's going to be a tremendous success. I think it's going to help a lot of people. And just the name alone is just fantastic. That's what caught my eye when
Oh,
I just saw it. I mean, I didn't know you, and I
right.
saw that pop up on one of my friends' things about my season of Yes. I'm like, wow, I need to interview her and get this word out, because you're such an awesome young woman, and the book is just going to help the masses, as I like to say. And I have published 65 books for authors, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Plus, I have 2 published books myself, and mine weren't really motivational books. They were marketing books where I used my experiences at the credit union for 25 years to write a marketing book, The Art of Marketing, and also I did my credit union story. So, I mean, I can understand. So once you start writing, God just flows it through you, especially if it's something that's going to help people and motivate people. And you have such a special spirit. It's just awesome to have you. I would like to say at this point in time, WYTV7 is a nonprofit. We would appreciate any donations that you can give. Our donations go toward promoting the broadcast that you're looking at today and all of the broadcasters, and we put them out there internationally, and we also upload them to iHeartRadio. So I'm really excited about that, Ms. Camille, for you to get that kind of exposure. I think it's fantastic, and we're about to come to a close. So if you would just tell us where we can get the book and how we can get the book, that would be fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. My Season of Yes is on Amazon, Amazon Kindle, and it also is on Nook Press with Barnes & Noble. I believe it's $2.99, and you can download it for your tablet, your iPhone, Android, and your Nook. And I'm just excited about everything. When I actually saw it for the first time, Miss Nancy, I was like, that's my name. Like, really, that's my name. Like, I still can't believe it.
Yeah, it just brings you to tears when you see the product of what you've done, and you're like, I never even knew I could write a book. All I knew how to do was help people and market. That's all I had to do. But I thought, but it turned out pretty well. So again, Miss Camille, I want to let you know that she has Camille Schuler Ministries, and you can look her up, and we will be posting names and things like that. And the name of her book is My Season of Yes, and you can get it on Amazon and Kindle. So I thank you so much for taking some time with me today. It's been a pleasure, and I'm just so excited for you, and I wish nothing but the best for you and continued success. Just keep on going.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Bye.